envisioned by Satoshi. So thank you everyone for joining us. I promise you that today is going to be short but very concise and precise. We it's going to be Today is going to be very, very fun. We would have time for a lot of questions. Apart from questions, we also have time to um, uh, speak to our guest speaker. So I welcome to the mic Mr. Franklin Peters. We'll just go straight to it. Your host, I'm your host. I'm my by name Paul Ezaflukwe, the team lead of OKEX in Nigeria. OKEX is a worldwide exchange headquartered in Hong Kong. We are very big. We have we're a central exchange. We have our OKEX chain. We have quite a number of things we do at OKEX. One of them, we have a P2P platform. We have the central exchange. We have our OKB, OKT. We have quite a number of products. Our website is www.okex.com. Let's get into the main reason why we are here for the night. Mr. Franklin Peters, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for.
So we want you to quickly delve into why we are here for the night. We're here to discuss P2P as envisioned by Satoshi Nakamoto. And one very, very important thing, if you go across board recently, what has been happening in China, in different places, in different communities in the world, there has been this drive, this push for government to ban cryptocurrency. But one of the things that has been sustaining cryptocurrency is the fact that there are lots of platforms that run P2P. So we want you to tell us what was the original plan in Satoshi's mind concerning P2P?
All right, so thank you so much for having me here tonight. OKEX. It's an exciting one for me. And tonight we're going to be talking about P2P as envisioned by Satoshi Nakamoto. And it's not a very common topic. Not everybody, and I can tell you for free, not everybody in the crypto space understands Satoshi Nakamoto. Everybody might have heard the name Satoshi Nakamoto. Everybody might have heard about Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, cryptography, but they don't understand the vision behind Bitcoin. You know, there's this thing they usually say, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. I can tell you for free, like 80% of the people in the crypto space have not read the Bitcoin white paper. They do everything they do in the crypto space based on hearsay, based on what they have heard people say about Bitcoin, what they have heard about, crypto, and probably one or two YouTube videos they have watched. But if you really want to understand the vision and the reason why Bitcoin is what it is and why it functions the way it does, you really need to, read the white paper to understand that. So to discuss extensively P2P as envisioned by Satoshi Nakamoto, we need to go back into his state of mind as at the time he was writing that white paper. And writing the white paper is not the beginning of Bitcoin or blockchain. It was the end of the creation. It was him, encapsulating everything he had already done, right? So he had been working on the whole cryptocurrency and blockchain thing for a while. I wouldn't know how long it took him, 2 years, 5 years, I don't know. But everything you see on that white paper is a combination of, thesis from a lot of other people in the past. In 1985, the cyberpunk team, and in 1999, the what do you call it? The Digicoin team, and Halfini of year 2000 and 5, these people did a lot of things around cryptocurrency and cryptography, trying to come up with a solution, right, that could help people to send money over the internet. But none of it came to, none of them functioned the way Bitcoin is functioning today. So what Satoshi did was to combine all those things and make it work, right? He made it work, and that was it. But the highlights or the high point of what he was creating was what we encapsulate in the word P2P. So what is P2P? P2P is peer-to-peer. So when you say peer-to-peer, is a transaction between not more than two individuals. Even if it's happening in a group, it is regarded as two individuals. So even if you are sending money as an individual to a group, to a church, to an organization, to a country, is one wallet that will receive it. And that one wallet is regarded as a single receiver, while you are a single sender. And even if you are sending it as a group, you are sending it from your wallet. So either ways, it is a peer-to-peer transaction that completely, annihilates the need for a middleman. And he published that white paper in the year 2008, October 2008 precisely. And that white paper happened to be published at the same time there was global economic crisis, which heavily affected America. And there was no way anybody who was found in the midst of that crisis survived. I mean, even government could not come to the aid of banks and institutions that were going down because of the economic crisis. And it took a lot of efforts before they could survive, before the world started coming back. I remember in the same 2008 we had the housing deficit in America, where real estate bubble crashed, and at the time it was one of the biggest crash in history, where houses were going down in value. I mean, nobody wanted to buy real estate until institutions and governments and banks started, creating artificial demand. If not, it would have been worse, for America. And for such kind of thing, even real estate to crash to that point at that time, it means that there was no way the current financial system is going to survive in the long term, right? And so Satoshi decided to create this solution, or decided to publish the white paper within that same period. And funny enough, the Genesis block that was mined as at that 2009, the very first block had a message hidden in it, America, the risk of collapse or economic collapse or something, was written in the hash of that Genesis block that was mined. Okay, so now the mindset and the solution, the problem he wanted to solve, there were two major problems. Two major problems. If you have your pen, you can take note. The first problem is the problem of decentralization. To remove middlemen from transactions. Banks had the final say. Institutions, governments had the final say. I mean, if you want to send money to somebody, the money doesn't just go to you. You have to, it doesn't go to the person. You have to take permission from the bank before you can send your money to the person. And it's left for the bank to say yes or no. So if I have like $10,000 or £10,000 or 10,000 naira and I want to send 2,000 to you, what happens is the moment I type that amount and I click on send, right, a request will go to the bank and tell the bank that Mr. Franklin Peters wants to send 10,000 naira to, or 1,000 naira to Mr. Paul. At that point, the bank knows that I have a certain amount in the bank. They start asking questions. They start checking all the details they had requested from me at the point of registering my bank account. So if you can remember, when you tried opening a bank account in Nigeria, they asked you how much is the threshold of transaction you are expecting to carry out in a month. Can you remember? Now,
Yeah.
if you say, at that point, people don't just write, they think. You think. Because even though you know you are praying that God should bless you, you can't type 1 billion, even though you know that if God answer your prayers, you are able to do 1 billion naira transaction. But if you put it, they won't open the bank account for you, right? Because they want to know what are you going to do to generate that kind of amount, right? Then if you want to be, very judicious, and you put like 1 million, you've undermined your faith. Doesn't mean you won't be able to do bigger amounts, right? But the issue is this: the bank have all your details. They know who you are. They know your background, where you stay, your grandmother's maiden name, as far back as that, right? And they know what you do. So by the time you make that request to send that money, a callback goes to the bank. The bank determines if you are able to
Eligible.
handle that kind of amount, and if they should allow you to send it. If in any case they see that they can't imagine that you have that kind of amount, they won't just say no, they'll block your account. You see, so these central institutions had so much power, have so much power, that I know, it is, checks and balances, to be sure that everybody is good, and of course, but it affects both the good people as well, and it limits businesses. But these same banks will still go ahead to print money for themselves and commit nefarious activities, right? Defraud even the citizens. Back in the days during the Second World War, you know what happened? America had collected a lot of gold deposits from different countries, to keep it for them in their vault in America. And they issued a bank note. And that note, signified the total amount of gold worth you have in the US votes, right? And anytime you want to take back your gold, all you needed was to come back to the bank and present this promissory note, right? And when you present it, it would be, the gold will be given to you. And then during the Second World War, what America did was to print multiple, yeah, it was a good standard, was to print multiple of these notes, and they use it to finance war, right? And at the end of the day, we have seen, the outcome. So these things have still not been taken away from the banking industry, from the central institutions. And at the long run, it's give more harmful than good, to the people. And that was what was in the mind of Satoshi. So the first thing that he wanted to solve is the issue of decentralizing power from the middle, from the center, ensuring that the people, decentralization of power doesn't mean that power does not exist. What people get it wrong when they feel that decentralization means no single institution have power. There's no power still exists, but the power is vested in the hands of multiple persons, whereby when they now come together, they are more powerful than one institution. That was what Satoshi Nakamoto wanted to create. All right. And the second thing he also did was to solve the problem of double spending, which was an ongoing problem that the previous developers of cryptocurrency and other cryptographic solutions in the past could not solve. They created those things, but double spending was it. What is double spending? Anytime you send an email to somebody, you still have a copy of that email. Anytime you send an SMS to somebody, you still have a copy of that SMS. Anytime you send a document to somebody, you still have a copy of that document. And so some of those other platforms that we have created, each time that money is sent, right, you still have a copy, some numbers. Also, you have to trust yourself enough to say, yeah, I've actually sent this amount. Let me delete this from my balance, right? But not everybody will be that honest. So Satoshi created those two problems, and that was these two things are the backbone of peer-to-peer, right? Just like our topic says, peer-to-peer or P2P as envisioned by Satoshi Nakamoto. Nowadays, banks are clamping down on on cryptocurrency and blockchain, and it's not new. It's not something that it shouldn't be alien to us. It's not something that we should feel bad that is happening. It was always meant to be. It has always been from day one. The governments and central institutions will never be happy to see that power is being taken away from them, right? Because that power is what has given them the ability to print wealth, to generate money in different hidden ways, and nobody questions them for it, right? Today I was watching a news by one of American senators, making moves for cryptocurrency to be clamped down, Bitcoin cryptocurrency to be clamped down. And one of the notable things he said is that America's US dollar, for the fact that it is a global reserve currency for trading oil, right? Which is what gives America the power it has. If there is a different other currency that battles it, all right, that battles US dollar, that currency does not mean well for America, right? Because that currency could actually make American, the power America controls to be weak, right? So this is to show you the actual reason. Not all of them will say it this way. They will only say, they will always come out and they will say that cryptocurrency is being used to finance terrorism, used by criminals, but that's not the truth. The truth is that cryptocurrency is the safest form of money, right? The fact that it is being done P2P does not mean that it is they say anonymous, right? But Bitcoin is actually not anonymous. It's not anonymous. It is pseudonymous. There is a difference between anonymity and pseudonymity. Anonymity means that you don't ever get to know who is who, right? Pseudonymity means that instead of your name, Mr. Paul Ezafulukwe, sending to Franklin Peters, it is 1 2 KY 2 3 4 5 sending to 3 4 5 1. So the moment you put out your wallet, your public key, because there's a private key and there's a public key. The private key is a digital signature as created by Satoshi Nakamoto. And if we had enough time, I would have broken some of these things down to show you how all these things come together to make P2P a powerful, financial institution, more powerful than even the Swiss bank, right? So the moment you put out your wallet address, your public key, to people, telling them that this is my public key. Of course, we all now know whenever we see a transaction from that wallet, we don't need a priest to tell us that this is Paul Ezafulukwe, right? The same way I can be Franklin Peters and I am also blockchain oracle. Until I told you that I am, or until you heard people say that this is blockchain oracle, you never knew is my pseudonym, right? So if now you know that blockchain oracle is synonym, is the same thing with me. Anytime you see blockchain oracle somewhere, there's one person that comes to your mind. That person is what? Franklin Peters, right? That's the same way everybody's public key represents them, but this is your public digital identity or digital footprint on the blockchain, right? Which you use to receive funds peer to peer. So so that is what that's what he created, right? So if you want to fight cryptocurrency, and your problem is that it's being used to do all those things, fiat currency or the paper currency is a more ideal currency for criminals. It's a more ideal currency for criminals because it can be tracked. If I carry $10 million in a Ghana must go, I get to your house and I give it to you. Nobody will ever be able to track that transaction. Nobody. It's not possible. But cryptocurrency or Bitcoin can always be tracked. It is the easiest to track. Once I find your pseudonym, I can track it down to the first time you used it. I can track it down to the very last time you used it. I can track it to everywhere it enters. So Satoshi was such a genius that he created all these things, and he put a lot of things into consideration, not just the transaction aspect of it. If you read the white paper, you will see the first chapter of the white paper, the first chapter, he talked about transferring of money, right, which is controlled by he said he created a system that took care of trust, people being able to trust mathematics and cryptography, right? So when the central institutions or banks are trying to clamp down on cryptocurrency by shutting down people's bank accounts or threatening people that if they transact, they will shut them off, they will close their bank account and all those things, they are wasting their time. Because what Satoshi created was whole. When I say whole, WHOLE, even to the next 50 years, even without any upgrade on the system, the P2P system will beat any banking system hands down. Should I talk about the security of the system?
Mr. Franklin, would like to take some contribution from our guests and also take some questions so that you come back and add more. Thank you so much for what you've shared for us so far. Let's not forget what he said. One of the things he said is that Satoshi brought us a system that takes away the middleman. It totally eliminates the middleman. We can deal without a third party. And the middleman in this place, especially for financial matters, are majorly the banks, the insurance companies, the loan sharks, and so on and so forth. So there's this question, irrespective of what Satoshi vision, we have seen from the days of before Mount Gox up to Mount Gox. Now we have Cryptopia, we have quite a number of them that have failed, because at the peak of Satoshi's vision and coming up with Bitcoin and the white paper, there was the crash, the economic crash of 2008. Now, where government had to bail out a lot of banks. And in bailing out these banks, one thing that we noticed was that these banks were giving money, but the common man on the street who had his business was not giving money. Now, Satoshi envisioned removing the middleman. But so far, there is something that has been prevalent in the crypto ecosystem. The exchanges are now the new middlemen. And unfortunately for us, these exchanges, from time to time, they collapse, like what happened in 2008. Now, the question is this, the question the person is asking is this: are we empowering the middleman by operating with sexes instead of going with dexes, like what we have seen so far? We saw the collapse of Quadrigags, Cryptopia, Mount Gox, quite a number of them, even the rock pools that we have seen so far. Now, are we now coming back to empower the middlemen instead of fully decentralizing all parts of these ecosystems so that we can fall in line with Satoshi's vision of P2P?
Okay, so this is a very important, very smart and important question. But there's something we need to understand, right? Centralized exchanges or centralized applications cannot be taken out of the picture. They cannot. That's number one. They are very important to the growth of the ecosystem. Number two, they were not created for people to go and put their money and leave it there. They are created for you to go and use them and take your money out and keep your money in a wallet where you have control of your keys. I'm going to say that again, right? No matter how hard you try, centralized systems cannot be taken out of the way entirely because they are very key to the growth of the ecosystem, right? Then the usability of decentralized systems is not meant for you. People need to understand that there is a difference between a wallet where you have control of your key and exchanges where you go for trading. So you fund your wallet with just enough fund for the trade, not keeping your wealth in the exchange, right? You put just enough for your trade, and once you are done trading, you move your money out until the next time you want to trade. This is the ideal way to make use of centralized systems. You understand? So if we start looking at it, um, if we start looking at it from that perspective, then we understand that it's not like we're empowering centralized systems again within the crypto decentralized economy. You understand? So the thing is this: if everybody will get to understand what I just explained now, right? Then centralized exchanges will be safer for everybody because per time, the only funds that will be in centralized exchanges will be funds that are being traded at the time. You understand? Then, even if those exchanges start having issues, it's not all your wealth that will be in those kind of platforms. So basically, that's that. Um, in the future, do I foresee a future where everything is fully decentralized? We can never be far away from centralized ecosystem. I don't know what your opinion on this is, but for me, I don't think would be 100% decentralized, even in the next hundreds of years. I don't think we will be fully 100% decentralized. I can say that will be like 80% to 90% decentralized, but there will always be an iota or atom of centralization, within some of those systems. But once you have achieved more than 50 to 60% decentralization, you are good to go.
Okay, thank you so much. Any further questions so that he could also take okay. Thank you so much. We also recognize all our very important guests. Uh, recognize the presence of our dear Executive Secretary of CBAN. Thank you so much for joining us. Every guest is important. We thank you all for coming. Uh, Please, if you have a question, a contribution, just raise your hand. We'll give you some few seconds to ask or make your contribution. Just a minute, 60 seconds, so that we could also look at some other things. There's another question here that somebody dropped. He said, why is it that uh, P2P in Africa, especially Nigeria, is doing far better than P2P in the West?
How did the person get the statistics?
Well, the what he mentioned some names, but because of the
Yeah,
major thing that we are here for, I don't want to
sure.
go into all of that. But we know that the biggest P2P platform is in Nigeria,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
based on statistics.
Okay.
The biggest P2P platform is in Nigeria,
I
and
yeah, yeah. I understand.
not only is it
The reason I asked
yeah.
where the person got that statistics is just to be sure, you know, what the question, where he's driving at in the question. But I would say this: it's not just about the P2P being, it's not just about P2P. It's about the need in Africa. Africa is more in need of blockchain and cryptocurrency than any other part of the world. So it's a case of demand. There is more demand for this organized. The very first instance of the blockchain, or implementation of the blockchain and cryptocurrency, was the aspect of money, was the financial aspect, which is the cryptocurrency. I mean, the blockchain solves a lot of problems. With the blockchain, you can power, the medical sector, the military, so you can do a lot of things in the blockchain. And also, hear me? Can you hear me?
You're back. You're back. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. So I don't.
Yes, yes, you're back.
All right. So the crypto aspect of it have proven to be kind of to provide financial incentive to people who adopt it, either by trading or by holding or by mining. So it has proven to give financial incentive to people, and Africa is in their need of that financial incentive more than any other person you can imagine, right? Because other countries, let me not just say Africa, let me say third world countries, right? And that's the reason why the P2P aspect seem to be booming much more here. I've met with a lot of white people, and I've had the privilege of interviewing them about cryptocurrency. None of them have agreed. Even today, like I was in Apple store today, at their head office in Dubai, and the person that was fixing my phone, we are talking about cryptocurrency. He said that he doesn't trade, he does dollar cost average, and I'm like, wow. He said his salary, he gets his salary every month. He just buy. He doesn't care what the price is. He holds. You understand? So this person is not looking to send money to their family abroad, or send money, or do all those things, or do P2P so that they will make that small margin. They are not interested in it. So it's in this Africa that we have discovered that if I buy it for 100, I can sell it at 105. So I can make that 05. You understand? So that is the reason. I won't tell you it's because Africa is the giant of Bitcoin or blockchain, or that we understand the technology more. We don't understand it any more than these people. It's because we are in need of the financial incentive that comes from it. That's the truth.
Thank you so much. We are in need of the financial incentive
Yeah.
that readily comes from it on a daily basis. So that informs why we are always quick to exchange value on a daily basis. But the guys whose economies have surpassed that of the third world countries, they do more of DCA, dollar cost averaging. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions from the guys? Any contribution? It's OKEX Talks. We are open to anything. If you want to say anything, just let us know. Drop, raise your hand. Use the icon on the chat you see there, and I'll quickly unmute you so you could ask your question. Okay. While we are waiting for people to ask questions, make contributions, I just want us to know that on OKEX platform, we're a centralized exchange. And at the same time, we have a P2P platform. Our P2P platform is zero fees. Apart from zero fees, we have stake and earn. Apart from that, we You could also come on board and list your tokens once your project has the right fundamentals and has the right team behind it, the right metrics. We are open to African projects. We also have a launch pad, Block Dreams. We have quite a number of services we provide for people. APYs on a stake and earn, they are quite high. We have VIP services for big clients who are willing to trade both spot and futures of large volumes. So feel free to contact me anytime apart from this, so that if you want VIP services, we could always render VIP services to you. Now let's go back to Mr. Peters. Mr. Franklin, would you what do you see as the future of exchanges? Do you foresee more of P2P platforms or more of sexes? Centralized exchanges? Are we based on what is happening where some governments are beginning to embrace this technology and the blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and some other governments are beginning to clamp down on practitioners? What do you foresee? What's the future? Are we going to see more of P2P people? Are we going to see more of P2P platforms or more of centralized platforms?
We're going to see more of P2P platforms. We're going to see more of P2P platforms, especially in regions where crypto regulation and clampdown is on the high. Africa, America, we're going to see more of P2P platforms. And it's already happening. Every centralized exchange already has its P2P version, right? Every single one, most of them, especially because it's difficult for people to I mean, right now we are doing what's happening on the stage we are in or at right now in the cryptocurrency space is what we call the wealth transfer stage. So during the wealth transfer stage, people, you know, by default, what they have is their fiat. Now they now get to learn about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. So the next thing they need to do is to do what? Use their default currency, which is their fiat, to do what? Buy the Bitcoin. What transfer has happened, right? So if you're in a country where it's, you know, there's regulation on cryptocurrency usage, and you cannot use your bank system to buy crypto, then the only thing you can fall back to is the peer-to-peer system. So most peer-to-peer systems that are in existence are gradually expanding into different countries. They are gradually, having partners or smaller exchanges that are working with them in those other countries. You understand? And for me, even though somehow we are hopeful that Nigeria gets to, lift the restriction that is on cryptocurrency usage in Nigeria, I don't foresee them giving it a thumbs up as quickly as possible. Same with every other bank, every other place. We are going to see serious battles and serious clampdowns very, very soon. We have not even seen anything yet, and it will last for a while. So until then, we are going to see a lot of P2P platforms emerge. That's what I see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Based on what you just said, you just said we should put on sandals and get ready, or our boots and get ready, that we are going to experience more of some persecution, some
yeah,
level of persecution from governments, from agencies here and there, different countries. Now, based on all of that, that means that we should all endeavor to encourage, build, and use more of person to person, which is also P2P.
yeah,
Uh, you know, Sometimes when you say there's a place I went to, and I was talking about
All right, so we lost him. Okay, he's back. You are muted. Your mic is
Okay,
muted.
I think I'm back. My network just went off. Please, somebody here should curate, ideate, and start providing P2P internet services, so that once once the nodes are running, we won't have this issue of network will just go blank. You know, we look forward to that. You know, where once your phone is on, Franklin's phone is on, Obina's phone is on, internet connects us.
Yeah,
I think we should just think about that, so that Glow Spectranet will not just go and you're wondering what is happening.
yeah.
So in closing, sir, what else do you concerning P2P platforms, especially for Africans who need the incentive to the monetary incentive to stay in the ecosystem more than those who are just buying for long term, those who are in the West who already have infrastructures working for them, who are just trying to leverage on dollar cost average, and also leverage on increasing their portfolio worth, also leverage on increasing their capital. We who are here in Africa, we are no longer people in this ecosystem who have been here for some time, are no longer in the third world mindset. Many of us are already living the first world mindset. We're living it in reality. We're living big, and we are ready to build the future of our dreams, the future of Africa. What do you think, sir? The
Yeah.
last question, then we tidy up from here. What do you think? How should we position ourselves, especially bearing in mind that a lot of persecution concerning this technology is going to come from different governments in Africa. By the time a lot of them are losing control, their central banks are losing control of the monetary system. They are losing control of their people. People like myself, I know when last I went to a physical bank. I know when last, if I must transact in banks, it's only when I try to do one OTC deal here or there. But if not, I hardly use a bank. Hardly. Now, that's to tell you this is the future. Now, what do we do? How do we place ourselves so that we will remain relevant, carry out our day-to-day activities, and still exercise all financial functions as a human being?
All right, that's a very powerful question. How do you um, still live in the now while you are living in the future? Because, when we are doing the whole crypto stuff, we're actually living in the future, because that's the future of money. We can't run away from it, but we are living in the reality of it right now. So how do we have the full benefit of the present while enjoying the future? Okay, to be able to, spend in real time, without going to the bank, and we are not lost in the mist. Now, there are lots of solutions or platforms that are emerging to solve that problem, right? And, if those platforms succeed, you don't even need a bank account. You don't even need a bank account, because it's all about creating a balance between those who are in need of this crypto and those who have it, right? So we are still in the word transfer stage, like I said. I'm going to use an example, Boundless Pay, right? An application that allows you to spend your crypto in real time for anything you want to spend it for. Now, it doesn't mean that the crypto is, you are spending the crypto as it were. What we are doing in the background is balancing up the system. There are those who need these cryptos. You have the crypto. You want to pay your house rent, you want to pay your light bill, you want to do all those things. What we do is essentially take those crypto from you, give it to the person that need it, use the money he's paying for, he's supposed to pay you for it, to pay for those things on your behalf. Simple. You understand? So there are platforms like that. Right now, you can recharge your phone, you can pay your light bills, you can do all those, not just Boundless Pay. There are so many other platforms that offer those services, right? So how do you position yourself? Either by being a creator of such kind of solutions so that other people will benefit from it, or you leverage on existing platforms. And in the nearest future, in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, like I said, some of those platforms would have balanced very well, such that you don't need to, you are living in the now while you are enjoying the future money in cryptocurrency. So learn, study, research. There are people that you can even send your crypto and they are willing, like for instance, in Dubai here, if you want to buy a house, you are at liberty to pay with crypto. I don't have a bank account in Dubai yet. I'm using yet. I have a bank account, a company bank account for my company. I don't have a personal account. And what I'm using comfortably has been crypto for anything I want to do. You understand? Now, what did I do? It's not like anywhere you go, you can just pay with crypto. The thing is, I found a better alternative to anything I want to do. So I want to pay for this thing. Is there any person that will accept crypto for it? That's the person I'll go for. You understand? So by making some of those research, I'm able to make use of my crypto for whatever I want to use it for. And in the future, that's how it's going to be. So for now, everybody, what I advise is this: position yourself to either be a creator of a solution that solves that problem because we need it, right? Or you attach yourself to a platform that does it and enjoy the benefit of it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Franklin Peters. That was an excellent session with you. It's always a delight having you around and having you speak. The Oracle, the blockchain Oracle, any day, anytime, is always representing the blockchain community. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Don't
you.
forget what he just said. He said, position yourself rightly. You know, if you can imagine the future, if like 10 years ago or 13 years ago when Satoshi started this, if you had sat down maybe in 2013 or 14, probably some of us would not have seen some of this. But with the little insight we have, think of the next 10 years. Many of us who are here, or many practitioners, have not been to the bank in 3 years, 4 years. I know somebody who has not been into the bank in 5 years. Even when he loses his card, he just blocks it and just continues doing what he's doing. Now that's 5 years. Imagine what's going to happen in another 10 years. We might not need physical banks anymore. So position yourself, upgrade yourself, and be ready for the future. Be prepared. Prepare well so that you'll be part of the future that in the ecosystem. Thank you so much once again. We want to say thank you to all our guests. Mr. So much Gracie Wuno, do you want to say hi to people here? Okay, somebody just asked a question. Sir, how does someone become a creator?
Hello, everyone. Thank you. It's so good to be with you guys. I've just been listening, but I'm really glad I was here. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you so much, sir. Welcome. Somebody say, how does somebody, Mr. Franklin, can you just give 1 minute to that so that we can shut down?
Yeah. So
Somebody asked a question.
how do someone become a creator? Identify a problem and solve it if you're a creator. That's what Satoshi
Yeah.
Nakamoto did. He saw a problem in the economic system and he solved it by creating Bitcoin and blockchain. So You can leverage on existing infrastructure. I mean, Ethereum has created a global computer system that allows you to build decentralized application on top of it using smart contracts, right? You can learn more on how to code on Ethereum blockchain, or you can build a team of developers and work with them. But before you start doing that, make sure you have a problem in mind you want to solve. And I would like to see people solving the problems of allowing people to spend the tomorrow's money today, right? What other ways can we empower people to use their cryptocurrencies in the real time? That's one of the biggest problems we need to keep solving. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Guys, we need to shut down. We don't intend to spend more than 1 hour on OKEX talks. Next Saturday is going to be an exciting session. Every Saturday by 8 p.m., OKEX talks has come to stay. We want to say thank you to our guest speaker. Please, I'll drop my contact so that any other question or any other thing, we just need to shut down. You can ask me, or you go to Instagram, check on blockchain at Blockchain Oracle, or Facebook Franklin Peters. I think or LinkedIn. That's my number there, and we'll continue from there. So, but for now, we need to shut down. We started a bit. We came here by 8, but a lot of people joined by I think about 9, 8, 10, 8, 11. So we just have to shut down in the within that 1 hour frame. So to our guest speaker, we say thank you, sir. Thank you for the wealth of knowledge you have dropped. Thank you guys for coming. God bless you. We look forward to having another session next week. Like I said, visit our website, www.okex.com. We have a P2P platform. We have an stake and end platform. We have the central exchange, and we are also ready to list tokens that have fundamentals. So just feel free to contact me for anything you need. And we have also a platform for VIP persons like yourselves. So thank you so much. We look forward to having you on our platforms. And don't forget to also check out what Boundless Pay, what they are building at Boundless Pay. They are doing some exciting things. And we look forward to doing business with them also from Workers. We say thank you and do have a wonderful night. God bless you all.
Good night. Good night.
Bye. Good night.